Morning, welcome everyone. Um, yeah, so we're going to continue on this guru devotion topic, in particular looking at the remembering the kindness of the teacher and trying to um, cultivate respect for the teacher. So we start by just checking our posture, making sure that we're in a conducive physical state to work with our minds. A comfortable seat. We have a good base with our sitting bones on the cushion, on the chair, on the sofa. And if we're sitting like on the chair or the sofa, just making sure that our feet are flat on the ground and if possible not to lean back too much in the into the back of the seat. A straight back, as straight as possible. And this is important because it really um, opens up. It opens up these channels, these winds, the energy, the straight back, making sure it's all flowing as good as possible. Make sure to relax our shoulders, our neck, our jaw, even our eyes. The eyes can either be closed or they could be slightly open, just allowing a little light to come into the eyes. When we bring our mind inside, bring our attention inside, draw it in. And we recall that there's so many beings out there, our friends and our family, and the acquaintances that we meet during the day that depend on us. They depend on us in different ways, whether it's for food, for friendship, whatever it might be. There's many people out there and non-humans, dogs, cats, insects, that depend on our existence. And if we're not healthy and happy, then it becomes difficult for us to help them. So we need to develop, we need to work with our minds, open our hearts so that we can stay healthy and happy, so that we can benefit these beings that are in need. So it's for their sake that I do this meditation. So when we think about this spiritual friend, and we remember the kindness and cultivate the respect, how do we do this? How does it work? Or why? So we say that the teacher's kinder than all the Buddhas in general, because it's the teacher who helps us during the time of our most desperate needs. The teacher's here now. Because if you think about it, by the time you've achieved high realizations, by the time you've accumulated a lot of merit, and by the time that you experience blissful peace, it's only then that you will be able to see the Buddhas that emanate in bodies that are all around us all the time, and directly receive teachings and advice from them. but we're not there yet, right? So until that stage, we need to rely on the teacher that's here, the teacher that's right in front of us. Because when we kind of start off on this path, we begin our practice and our merit. It's quite poor. Our understanding is limited, and our suffering is great. So it's only the teacher, the guru, that helps us directly right now. It's like the person that gives food during the famine. That's the teacher. So it's in this way that the teacher is kinder than the Buddhas in general. And specifically, our guru is even kinder than Shakyamuni Buddha and all the Buddhas of the past. Although um, they've been very kind in establishing uh, the teachings and leading countless sentient beings out of suffering. They have not taught us the Dharma directly. And that's not because mm, they don't like us or they're biased. It's just our karma. We were never among their disciples. So it's our own teacher who now directly teaches us the holy Dharma. And so it's going to be our teacher that leads us out of suffering. So that's why this teacher and this life is more kind than Shakyamuni Buddha or any of the other previous enlightened beings. Maybe we can use the example of our parents who have been so kind to us to give us life, to care for us, um, making sure that we don't die in our youth, and allowing us to live this life. So that's very powerful. So it's a similar way that the guru is uh, is that kindness in offering the Dharma. Because your parents, they offer you life, and the other parents, they didn't do that. They didn't do that for you. They don't have that connection. So just like the Shakyamuni Buddha didn't have that connection with us, but our teacher does. Our teacher offers his blessings. and has the power to open and ripen our minds. So think about your teacher for a moment and see if you can see this kindness, this uh, devotion that they have to extending the Dharma to us without any expectations in return. So here we are. There's this guru, there's this teacher. We have the veneration, we have the respect for them. We see how kind they are. So how do we act with devotion? So after we kind of accept this teacher, we accept this guru, then it's necessary to um, keep the commitments of the guru yoga. So there's these three ways um, to devote oneself to the teacher the way of by the way of your actions. So the first one's offering material things. The second is paying respect and doing service. And the third is practicing as your guru instructs. So they seem pretty logical, pretty reasonable, not too difficult. So if we look at this first one, offering these material things. So when we offer um, these material items, we always want to offer the best quality items. It is not good to keep the best ones and to offer the teacher inferior objects. And if you only have um, poor quality things, or if the teacher himself prefers poor quality items, then it's perfectly suitable to offer this to the teacher. And it's not that difficult, but definitely have to check your mind when making offerings. Because this is the practice of generosity, and it's the generosity towards your teacher. I know myself, I find myself in this thinking. I know I'm going to see my teacher, and I want to give them a small gift, maybe a chocolate bar. So I go to the store, and I get a chocolate bar. I'll get two. I get one for myself, one for the teacher. It seems quite harmless, and maybe it is, but should I not get the higher quality one for the teacher, or get the larger one for the teacher, instead of having them be the same, one for me, one for them? It seems so subtle. I really have to check my mind. What's my motivation? What am I offering? Am I doing it as a convention? Or is it coming from my heart? So we quickly come back to this intention of our actions and how important it is, everything we do, that we check our motivation, we check our intention. So I'm sure you all had this experience at one point or another, whether you're giving something to a teacher or a friend or a parent, right? You're kind of like, "Oh, I'll get them a gift and I'll get myself one too." So it's not difficult to be generous and offer something. And the action itself, quite easy. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to have the intention. Just as the story of the beggar offering the Buddha sand, but the beggar saw gold. And that was the intention, to give the Buddha gold. So that was the motivation, that was the intention. And the beggar uh, received the merit of offering gold. And it wasn't just offering gold, it was offering gold to a Buddha. So that's big merit. So think about it this week. Um, no matter, it doesn't have to be your teacher, right? Think about, or this week or the next week, the gift giving, the and your intention behind it. Well, check your mind. What's going on? What are you thinking? Are you giving to give? Are you giving to because you have a strong conviction to make an offering? What are you offering? Is it coming from your heart? So just check the intention, the motivation, and observe it. There's no good or bad or right or wrong. Just a learning experience. So we dedicate to all the past, the present, and the future merits collected by me, and all of the merits of the three times collected by numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings, which are completely empty of existing from their own side. May I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve the state of full enlightenment, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side to that state which is completely empty of existing from its own side, by myself alone, who is completely empty of existing from my own side. Thank you, everyone.